Oh my God. Jeffersons, we did 200 shows.
Wow.
Oh, so now the minister has to be black and Baptist, huh?
That's right, you got it. Why? I remember you. You're Carlton.
You give me them shoes, Master Jefferson.
For what?
In the annals of television history, the Jeffersons emerges not just as a beacon of entertainment, but as a crucible of societal reflection, where laughter intertwined with the harsh realities of racial discourse. This groundbreaking sitcom, while celebrated for its humor and wit, was also a battleground for addressing and navigating the complex tapestry of racial prejudices that pervaded the era. Central to this narrative were the vibrant characters of George Jefferson, portrayed by Sherman Hemsley, and Florence Johnston, brought to life by Marla Gibbs. Their portrayals went beyond mere comedic roles, delving into the depths of racial dynamics and the pursuit of the American dream within a society fraught with inequalities. Yet, beneath the surface of this celebrated show lay a tumultuous undercurrent of controversies that threatened to overshadow its legacy. Sherman Hemsley, in particular, found himself at the heart of swirling rumors and personal challenges that seemed almost antithetical to the character he so brilliantly portrayed. Among the most startling of these was the allegation of his involvement with a meth lab, a rumor that cast a long shadow over his legacy and the show itself. Such controversies served as a stark reminder of the complex realities faced by those who brought the Jeffersons to life, mirroring the very issues the sitcom sought to address. Let us delve deeper into the narrative of The Jeffersons, as we uncover the controversies that shaped its journey and the indelible impact it left on both its audience and the broader cultural landscape. Sherman Hemsley, the actor who brought George Jefferson to life on The Jeffersons, was a man of profound talent and complexity. His portrayal of the upwardly mobile, assertive, and sometimes brash George Jefferson earned him a special place in the annals of television history. However, beyond the bright lights of the set and the laughter of the audience, Hemsley's life was shadowed by controversies that seemed at odds with the character he so famously portrayed. One of the most jarring rumors that emerged about Hemsley was his alleged involvement with a meth lab. This startling claim painted a starkly different picture of the actor, one that diverged significantly from the lovable and comedic persona of George Jefferson. The rumor, whether true or not, added a layer of intrigue and complexity to Hemsley's public image, casting a shadow over his contributions to television and entertainment. The controversy surrounding the meth lab allegation was emblematic of the broader challenges Hemsley faced in his career and personal life. The stark contrast between his on-screen persona and the swirling rumors off-screen highlighted the often tumultuous relationship between celebrities and their public images. For Hemsley, the character of George Jefferson was both a blessing and a curse. While it brought him fame and acclaim, it also typecast him, making it difficult for audiences and the media to separate the actor from the role. The meth lab rumor was particularly damaging because it tapped into societal fears and stereotypes about drugs and criminality, issues that were especially sensitive given the racial dynamics of the time. The Jeffersons itself was a groundbreaking show that challenged racial stereotypes by portraying a successful African-American family living the American dream. The show was celebrated for its progressive portrayal of race and class, making the rumors about Hemsley all the more jarring. Hemsley's personal life, marked by these controversies, was a stark reminder of the complexities that often lie behind public figures. The actor, known for his comedic timing and ability to bring laughter to millions, was also a private individual navigating the challenges that come with fame. The meth lab rumor, while never substantiated, was a significant part of the narrative that surrounded Hemsley, contributing to a more nuanced understanding of the actor's life and career. Despite the controversies, Hemsley's legacy as George Jefferson remains largely positive. His portrayal of the character broke new ground in television, offering a depiction of an African-American man who was both successful and flawed, relatable and aspirational. This nuanced portrayal was a significant departure from the one-dimensional characters that had often represented African Americans on television. In reflecting on Hemsley's life, it is essential to consider the broader context of his career and the era in which he rose to fame. The 1970s and 1980s were periods of significant social and cultural change in the United States, with television emerging as a powerful medium for exploring and challenging societal norms. The Jeffersons, with its bold approach to issues of race and class, was at the forefront of this cultural shift, and Hemsley's portrayal of George Jefferson was a pivotal element of the show's success. The Jeffersons, a sitcom that broke new ground in American television, was more than just a source of entertainment. It was a cultural phenomenon that boldly tackled issues of race, class, and the American dream. However, the show's groundbreaking nature was not without its controversies, which played a significant role in shaping its legacy and impact. At the heart of The Jeffersons was its portrayal of an African-American family that had achieved financial success, a narrative that was both revolutionary and contentious. The show's depiction of George and Louise Jefferson's move to a deluxe apartment in the sky was a stark departure from the typical portrayals of African-American families on television, which often relegated them to roles of poverty and struggle. This positive representation was groundbreaking, yet it also sparked debate about the realities of racial progress and economic mobility in America. One of the most controversial aspects of The Jeffersons was its unflinching approach to addressing racial issues head-on. Episodes that dealt with racism, prejudice, and interracial relationships were pioneering for their time, but also attracted criticism from various quarters. Some viewers felt that the show's humor sometimes veered into reinforcing racial stereotypes, particularly through the character of George Jefferson, whose brashness and sometimes bigoted remarks were intended as satire, but were occasionally perceived as perpetuating negative images. The show's willingness to engage with controversial topics extended to episodes that directly confronted the racism and bigotry of the time. One particularly contentious episode involved the Jeffersons and the Willises, an interracial couple who were their neighbors, facing the threat of a racist organization. This bold narrative choice was a reflection of the show's commitment to addressing the harsh realities of racism, but it also sparked intense discussions among the audience and critics about the appropriateness and effectiveness of such portrayals on prime-time television. Another aspect of The Jeffersons that stirred controversy was its depiction of upward mobility and success. While the show was celebrated for showcasing a successful African-American family, it also raised questions about the portrayal of success as predominantly materialistic. George Jefferson's often ostentatious display of wealth and status was a double-edged sword. It challenged stereotypes of African-American poverty, but also prompted discussions about the values and aspirations the show was promoting. Despite these controversies, or perhaps because of them, The Jeffersons left an indelible mark on the landscape of American television. The show's ability to blend humor with serious social commentary, to entertain while also provoking thought and discussion, was a testament to its complexity and depth. It pushed boundaries and opened doors for future television shows to explore racial and social issues with a blend of humor and gravity. In reflecting on the controversies and cultural impact of The Jeffersons, it is clear that the show was a product of its time, yet also ahead of it. It navigated the fine line between reinforcing and challenging stereotypes, between providing entertainment and offering social commentary. The controversies it sparked were indicative of the societal tensions and debates of the era, making The Jeffersons not just a sitcom, but a mirror to the society it both reflected and sought to influence. Marla Gibbs, who portrayed the sharp-witted and sassy housekeeper Florence Johnston on The Jeffersons, played a pivotal role not only on screen but also behind the scenes, significantly influencing the show's direction and authenticity. Her contributions, however, were not without their own set of controversies, particularly in how the show navigated racial stereotypes and the portrayal of African American characters. Gibbs's portrayal of Florence was groundbreaking in many ways. She brought depth and complexity to a role that could have easily been relegated to a mere comedic sidekick. Florence's character was known for her quick wit and ability to stand up to George Jefferson, her employer, challenging him in ways that broke the mold of typical employer-employee dynamics on television, especially between white employers and African-American domestic workers. This dynamic was both celebrated for its progressive portrayal of a strong, confident African-American woman and critiqued for perpetuating the stereotype of the sassy black woman. Behind the scenes, Marla Gibbs was instrumental in ensuring that The Jeffersons remained true to its portrayal of African-American life and culture. She was known to have a significant influence on the show's scripts, often advocating for changes that would avoid reinforcing negative stereotypes and instead provide a more nuanced and authentic representation of African-American experiences. Her advocacy was not without controversy, as it challenged the predominantly white writing staff and pushed the boundaries of what was considered acceptable for television at the time. One of the most notable instances of Gibbs's influence was her pushback against scripts that she felt perpetuated racial stereotypes or failed to accurately represent the African American community. Her insistence on authenticity and respect in the portrayal of her character and others on the show led to tensions with writers and producers. This behind-the-scenes advocacy was a double-edged sword. While it contributed to the show's depth and authenticity, it also highlighted the challenges African American actors faced in asserting their perspectives within the television industry. Gibbs's efforts to shape the portrayal of African American characters on The Jeffersons extended beyond her own character. She was known to collaborate with other cast members, including Sherman Hemsley and Isabel Sanford, to ensure that the show as a whole provided a positive and authentic representation of African American life. This collaborative approach was pioneering but also controversial, as it challenged traditional power dynamics on set and questioned the authority of writers and producers. The controversies surrounding Gibbs's role on The Jeffersons reflect broader issues within the entertainment industry, particularly regarding who has the power to shape the narratives and representations of marginalized communities. Gibbs's advocacy for authenticity and her willingness to challenge stereotypes paved the way for future generations of actors and actresses to assert more control over their portrayals and the portrayals of their communities. In reflecting on Marla Gibbs' contributions to The Jeffersons, it is clear that her impact extended far beyond her memorable performances. Her behind-the-scenes advocacy and commitment to authenticity played a crucial role in the show's success and its ability to navigate the complex terrain of racial representation on television. Gibbs's efforts to challenge and redefine stereotypes, despite the controversies they may have sparked, underscore the importance of diverse voices in the creative process and the power of television to influence societal perceptions and conversations about race. The Jeffersons, renowned for its humor and wit, also ventured into territories that were considered taboo for its time, particularly in its approach to racial issues and stereotypes. This boldness, while contributing significantly to the show's legacy, was not without its share of controversies, which often sparked intense debates among audiences and critics alike. One of the most contentious episodes involved the Jeffersons mistakenly attending a Ku Klux Klan rally, a storyline that was as daring as it was divisive. This episode, intended to satirize and critique the absurdity and ignorance of racial hatred, was groundbreaking in its willingness to confront such a sensitive and inflammatory subject head-on. However, the decision to use humor to address an organization known for its violent racism was met with mixed reactions. Some praised the show for its courage in tackling such a serious issue within a comedic framework, arguing that it opened up important conversations about racism and intolerance. Others, however, felt that the portrayal risked trivializing the real dangers and atrocities committed by the Klan, suggesting that some topics were too grave to be fodder for sitcom humor. The controversy surrounding this episode highlighted the fine line the Jeffersons walked in addressing racial issues. The show's creators were keenly aware of the power of comedy to challenge societal norms and provoke thought, but they also risked alienating viewers who found such bold approaches inappropriate or offensive. This tension between the desire to engage with serious social issues and the need to maintain the show's comedic essence was a constant balancing act for the writers and producers. Another aspect of the show that drew controversy was its portrayal of interracial relationships, particularly through the characters of Tom and Helen Willis, the Jeffersons' neighbors and friends. As one of the first television shows to feature a married interracial couple as recurring characters, the Jeffersons broke significant ground. However, the inclusion of Tom and Helen was not without its detractors. Some viewers objected to the portrayal of an interracial couple on primetime television, reflecting the broader societal prejudices of the time. Meanwhile, others criticized the show for not fully exploring the complexities and challenges of interracial marriage, arguing that the Willises' relatively problem-free relationship was unrealistic and glossed over the significant issues faced by interracial couples. The controversies that the Jeffersons navigated were reflective of the broader societal debates of the era. The show's willingness to engage with these issues, to push boundaries and challenge viewers' preconceptions, was a testament to its ambition and its commitment to reflecting the complexities of American society. However, this approach also meant that the show was often at the center of debates about the role of television in addressing social issues and the limits of humor in exploring sensitive topics. In retrospect, the controversies that surrounded the Jeffersons can be seen as indicative of its pioneering spirit. The show's creators and cast were willing to take risks, to use the platform of television not just to entertain, but to provoke, challenge, and reflect. While not all viewers agreed with the show's approach to controversial topics, the discussions it sparked contributed to the broader conversations about race, representation, and the power of media to influence societal attitudes and norms. The Jeffersons not only entertained audiences, but also left a profound legacy that continues to resonate in the landscape of American television. Its groundbreaking portrayal of an affluent African-American family and its candid approach to issues of race and class set new standards for sitcoms. However, the show's legacy is intertwined with controversies that underscore the complexities of its impact. One of the most significant aspects of the Jeffersons' legacy is its role in challenging and reshaping racial stereotypes. By presenting George and Louise Jefferson as successful, assertive characters, the show offered a counter-narrative to the prevailing stereotypes of African Americans in media. This portrayal was revolutionary but also controversial. Critics argued that while the show broke some stereotypes, it simultaneously reinforced others, particularly through the character of George Jefferson, whose brash and often abrasive personality was seen by some as perpetuating the stereotype of the angry black man. The show's handling of social issues, while pioneering, also sparked debate. The Jeffersons was unafraid to tackle topics such as racism, interracial marriage, and social mobility, often in a humorous context. This approach was lauded for bringing important issues to the forefront of public consciousness, but criticized by those who felt that the comedic treatment of such serious subjects was inappropriate or reductive. The balance between humor and social commentary was a constant tightrope walk for the show, leading to controversies that continue to be debated by scholars and fans alike. Another controversial aspect of the Jeffersons' legacy is its portrayal of upward mobility. The show's theme song, with its iconic line, "Movin' On Up," celebrated the Jeffersons' rise to affluence, a significant departure from the typical depiction of African American families on television. However, this portrayal raised questions about the implications of equating success with material wealth and the adoption of upper-class lifestyles. Critics argued that this narrative might reinforce the notion that true success for African Americans meant assimilating into predominantly white, affluent cultures, a perspective that sparked considerable debate about the values the show promoted. Despite these controversies, The Jeffersons is also remembered for its groundbreaking inclusivity, particularly in its portrayal of interracial relationships and its diverse cast. The show's positive impact in these areas is part of its enduring legacy, demonstrating the potential for television to promote understanding and tolerance. However, the show's attempts at inclusivity were not without their critics, who sometimes felt that the portrayal of certain characters or relationships was superficial or failed to fully address the complexities of race and identity. As we reflect on the legacy of the Jeffersons, it is clear that its impact extends far beyond the laughter it brought into living rooms across America. The show was a catalyst for important conversations about race, class, and the American dream, conversations that continue to this day. The controversies that surrounded the Jeffersons are a testament to its significance as a cultural artifact, one that challenged audiences to think critically about the world around them. The Jeffersons was a sitcom that broke new ground in American television, not only for its content, but also for the dynamics behind the scenes that contributed to its success and controversies. The show's production was marked by a blend of creative collaboration and tension, reflecting broader societal and industry challenges of the time. One of the most significant behind-the-scenes controversies involved the show's handling of racial themes and the input of African-American actors in the creative process. Marla Gibbs and Sherman Hemsley, in particular, were vocal about ensuring that their characters and the show's narratives authentically represented African-American experiences. Their insistence on authenticity and resistance to stereotypes sometimes led to tensions with the writing staff, which was predominantly white. This dynamic highlighted the broader issue of representation in the entertainment industry, both on-screen and behind the camera. The actors' advocacy for more nuanced portrayals was pioneering but also controversial, as it challenged traditional power structures within television production. The show's approach to controversial topics also extended to the writers' room, where debates about how to address sensitive issues like racism, interracial relationships, and social mobility were common. These discussions were reflective of the show's ambition to tackle subjects that were often avoided in sitcoms. However, the decision-making process regarding which topics to address and how to approach them was sometimes a source of contention among the writers, producers, and cast members. The balance between humor and social commentary was a constant negotiation, with differing opinions on how best to engage with complex issues without alienating the audience. Another source of controversy was the show's depiction of gender roles and feminism. While The Jeffersons was progressive in many ways, its portrayal of female characters and their roles within the family and society was sometimes criticized. The character of Louise Jefferson, played by Isabel Sanford, was a strong and independent figure, but the show also relied on traditional gender dynamics in many storylines. This aspect of the show sparked discussions about the portrayal of women in television and the intersection of race and gender in media representations. The departure of key cast members over the years also brought its share of controversies and challenges. As actors left the show, either due to contract disputes or desires to pursue other opportunities, the dynamic within the cast and the narrative direction of the show had to be adjusted. These changes were not always well received by audiences, and the reasons behind the departures were often the subject of speculation and rumor, contributing to the behind-the-scenes drama associated with the show. Despite these challenges, the collaborative spirit among the cast and crew of The Jeffersons was a driving force behind the show's success. The ability to navigate creative differences and controversies was testament to the commitment of all involved to produce a show that was not only entertaining, but also meaningful and reflective of the complexities of American society. Marla Gibbs, known for her role as the quick-witted Florence Johnston on The Jeffersons, has offered insightful reflections on the show's legacy, highlighting its groundbreaking approach to racial and social issues. However, her retrospectives also shed light on the controversies and challenges that were part and parcel of the show's journey, offering a nuanced view of its impact and the dynamics of television production during that era. Gibbs has often spoken about the pioneering nature of The Jeffersons in portraying an affluent African-American family, a rarity in television at the time. This portrayal was both celebrated for breaking stereotypes and critiqued for potentially glossing over the realities of racial inequality in America. Gibbs's reflections on these aspects highlight the delicate balance the show sought to achieve between entertainment and social commentary, a balance that was not without its controversies. One of the more contentious issues Gibbs has addressed is the portrayal of her character, Florence. While Florence was beloved for her sharp tongue and independence, Gibbs has acknowledged that the character also navigated the fine line of stereotype, particularly the trope of the sassy black maid. This acknowledgement opens up discussions about the complexities of representation, where a character can be both empowering and problematic. Gibbs' candidness about these issues reflects a broader conversation about the evolution of African American representation on television and the ongoing challenges of avoiding stereotypical portrayals. Gibbs has also reflected on the behind-the-scenes dynamics, particularly the challenges faced by African American actors in having their voices heard in the creative process. Her advocacy for more authentic storytelling and resistance to narratives that she felt were demeaning or simplistic was groundbreaking. However, it also highlighted the systemic issues within the entertainment industry, where the perspectives of minority actors were often marginalized. Gibbs' experiences and reflections underscore the importance of diversity and inclusion, not just in front of the camera, but also in the writing rooms and production teams. The controversies surrounding The Jeffersons were not limited to its portrayal of race. Gibbs has also touched upon the show's handling of other social issues, such as gender roles and economic disparity. The show's willingness to tackle these topics was part of its appeal, but it also opened up debates about the appropriateness and effectiveness of its approach. Gibbs's insights into these discussions provide a valuable perspective on the challenges of addressing complex social issues within the constraints of a sitcom format. Moreover, Gibbs's reflections on the legacy of The Jeffersons highlight the show's role in paving the way for future television programming that seeks to engage with social issues. Her acknowledgement of the controversies and debates that the show sparked is a testament to its impact, demonstrating how it not only entertained audiences, but also provoked thought and discussion. In sum, Marla Gibbs's reflections on The Jeffersons offer a rich tapestry of insights into the show's legacy, its groundbreaking achievements, and the controversies that accompanied its success. Her perspective sheds light on the complexities of television production in an era of social change, the challenges of representation, and the enduring impact of The Jeffersons on American culture. Through her candid discussions, Gibbs highlights the importance of continuing to strive for authentic and nuanced portrayals in television, acknowledging the progress made while also recognizing the work that remains to be done. As we reflect on the journey of The Jeffersons, it becomes evident that the show's legacy is as multifaceted as the narratives it explored and the characters it brought to life. While it stands as a pioneering sitcom that broke new ground in the portrayal of African American families, its path was also strewn with controversies that sparked debates and discussions, underscoring the complexities of addressing social issues within the framework of a comedic television show. The Jeffersons ventured into uncharted territories, challenging societal norms and pushing the boundaries of what was deemed acceptable for primetime television. Its candid exploration of race, class, and social mobility was groundbreaking, yet it also opened the show to scrutiny and criticism. The controversies that arose, from the portrayal of stereotypes to the handling of sensitive topics like racism and interracial relationships, were indicative of the broader societal tensions of the time. These debates were not merely about the content of a television show, but reflected deeper discussions about race, representation, and the power of media to influence and reflect societal attitudes. The show's willingness to engage with controversial topics was both its strength and its source of contention. It brought important issues to the forefront of public consciousness, using humor as a vehicle for social commentary. However, this approach also raised questions about the limits of satire and the responsibility of television producers in addressing complex social issues. The controversies surrounding the Jeffersons highlight the delicate balance between entertainment and education, between laughter and learning. Moreover, the legacy of the Jeffersons and the controversies it navigated serve as a reminder of the ongoing challenges in achieving authentic and nuanced representation in media. The show's efforts to provide a platform for African American voices and stories were pioneering. Yet the debates it sparked continue to resonate in contemporary discussions about diversity and inclusion in television and film. In conclusion, The Jeffersons remains a seminal work in the annals of American television, not only for the barriers it broke but also for the conversations it ignited. Its legacy, woven through with controversies and debates, is a testament to the show's impact on both the entertainment industry and society at large. As we look back on The Jeffersons, we are reminded of the power of television to challenge, to reflect, and to inspire change, navigating the complex interplay between humor and social commentary, entertainment and enlightenment. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.